Hey everyone, welcome to Unique Ways with Thomas Gerard, an audio podcast. Got a really great guest on today. He has 30 years in the creative industry and has worked for a corporation, a government department, four design studios, two successful agencies, and taught and continues to teach design courses to the next generation of creatives. Please join me in welcoming Robert Smith. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much, Thomas.
Are you ready for 20 questions?
I am ready to go.
Great. Question one. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. What do you do?
Well, at this point now, because I've been in the industry for so long, I began as a graphic designer, and that has slowly evolved through time to becoming an author and an educator. So I would define myself right now as an educator and a creative.
Great. Just a note for the audience, if you guys are interested in the big 2025 episodes, please check out our episode with Liz Danzico. Question two. What's a key piece of knowledge that makes you different?
What makes me different is that while I use technology, um, and we all do. Um, I lean more into the cerebral side of design, the creative side of design, the right side of the brain. And so in my educating students and mentoring and coaching, I very much lean into mindset and the creative process and how that marries to the technology, which is an executional side of what we do. A lot of people that I work with have spent their career, or at least a number of years, focusing on the technology, which, as we know, is changing constantly. And when you invest in your mindset and your creative mind, that's long term.
Nice. Okay, question three. Why this of all things? Why do you do what you do?
Well, if we go back to graphic design, I was a miserable high school student. I barely made it through high school. And it was simply a reflection of the fact that there was nothing for me at high school. There were no programs, there were no classes that really dug into what I was good at or my aptitude. When I was graduating at an enlightened uh, guidance counselor who said, "You should be a graphic designer." I said, "Wonderful. What is that?" And he proceeded to show me a book that he had on what was graphic design, and that was a veritable light bulb. And so, on to college, where I was an A+ student on the president's list of the college. So it was a real metamorphosis for me. It was a change that was over the top, and it was just an indication I had found what my aptitude was, what I loved doing, and so that's what's really fueled me moving forward through these 30 plus years and into education because I want to find other people who might be lost and aren't aware of this wonderful career.
Great. Some people struggle with number four, and the question is, what does your future look like?
My future looks like I'm now an author. My third book will be coming out at the end of October, and I'm going to continue writing. I was just at the Design Thinkers Conference in Toronto, where there's over 2,000 people attending, and I was there doing a workshop as we'll call it a test balloon on, again, the creative process and how that applies to looking for jobs in the creative industry and that. And it seems that my books and my topics have hit a nerve, and it's really resonated. So where I'm going now is more written content, some courses that are independent, and again, leaning more into the education side of things.
Great. And five we say is unique to this show. The question is, let's talk about location. How does the notion of place play into what you do?
Well, that's a funny question. Place is very important, and it's in fact the topic of the book I'm working on right now.
Mhm.
Um, which talks about the third space. And the theory of the third space is that our first space is home, our second space is work, and the third space is where we are unencumbered. It is a space that's just for us. There are no rules, there are no deadlines. It is just a place where we can be. A lot of people, we look at freelancers, for example, that are nomadic in that they are, traveling around doing their freelance work from a laptop. People that work from home and then go out to Starbucks or other places to write, they're looking for that place. And that is really an important thing. And um, I'll spoiler alert. The title of this book is Three Cushions and a Blanket. And it basically taps into our seeking out this third space began as children, where all we needed was three cushions and a blanket to make a fort. And that fort was our space. No parents allowed. We would bring in snacks, a book, a Game Boy, whatever it was, but that was our space to be ourselves. And as we grow up, we lose that and we seek it out, but we can't really put our finger on it. But you'll see a lot of architects, writers, musicians that have their, in quotes, cabin in the woods. And that's exactly what it is.
Perfect. Six, you're starting from the beginning. What advice do you give your former younger self?
Learn about money.
Mm.
I've fought money all of my career. It is, in my opinion, a necessary evil. It's the devil you know. And that's a bad attitude. I need to fix my attitude about money, and that is entrenched in my past. And so if I was to talk to my past self, there was nothing I would change. There would be nothing that I would change as far as my career in that. I adore it and everything that I've done. But I still struggle with understanding money. And that is something that I was really missed in my growing up.
Great. And seven, what's a day in your life like?
Day in my life is like I'm not a morning person. So my mornings are a little slow getting up, and I've self-awareness is really important. Like knowing who you are and how you react to things. So for myself, I know I'm not a morning person. So my mornings are slow. I get up and go for a walk, have a good breakfast, and answer emails and do sort of the admin kind of things because I know my creativity really hits in the afternoon. And so I'll get all the left brain things out of my way in the morning so I can jump into the right brain in the afternoon, which is what people are hiring me for. And so I'll work into the evening as well, and that's when I have my most success. So a day for me kind of looks like that.
Great. And eight is around lifelong learning. It's a popular topic. How do you stay up to date?
So for me, staying up to date and current is multi-tiered. Because I teach, that's an opportunity for me to learn as well as teach a lot of teachers out there. It's a bit of an ego trip, I would say, and just there to bestow their knowledge onto the masses. Where for me, it's more collaborative. I learn from them as well. I learn what's important to them, their generation, things like that, and that's important for what I do in the communications field. I'm also a member of a mastermind group, and the mastermind group is international. So I interact with people from around the world, which is, again, a great learning opportunity. And it's also, person to person. So I get to see people and talk. So there's a certain social aspect to the learning. And then I'm an avid Audible person. I go through a lot of books, recordings to keep up to date as well.
Great. So nine is about tools. Do you use both digital and analog tools?
Absolutely. I am, a self-confessed geek for somebody who leans heavily into the creative process, but I love technology. I love automation. I've had pretty much every generation of the iPhone, for example. So I love the technology, but in its place. And so I use the standard industry tools, the Adobe Suite, Figma, um, and then Webflow, et cetera, et cetera. So I do use those, and technology also allows me to work remote, just grab my laptop and go somewhere. Although I am a big fan of just grabbing a notepad and a pen.
Great. Halfway number 10, work-life balance, life-work balance. How do you deal with it?
I have two sons who are now older and on their own, so it's a very different scenario for me now. When I had the kids and raising them, the life work balance revolved around hours with the boys. So my work ended at 5 when I picked them up and began again at 9 o'clock after bedtime and story time. And now that I do not, that they're grown and on their own, I'm more flexible in my time. Now, that said, I get a lot of joy and pleasure out of design. So it never really feels like work. So sometimes I'll work on the weekend because I've got a really good idea on something. Sometimes I'll work late in the evening. Sometimes I'll take the morning off. It's the advantage of being self-employed, and also knowing when I'm creative and when I'm not. And so that's really how I balance. And I also play drums. So I think music is really important for people to have in their life, whether you participate or simply listen. But that's I think that's a great element to add into your work-life balance.
Great. And 11, if you weren't doing what you do now, what might you be doing?
I would be lost. I would be absolutely lost. It was the vision of my guidance counselor that found me this, and like I said, I barely made it through high school, and which was very detrimental to my self-awareness. And so I really felt deflated, and design gave me stature,
Mm.
and something I could be good at. So what would I be doing? I mean, as a kid, I wanted to be an architect. And I still to this day love architecture, but way too much, math and physics and whatnot, for the way I work.
Great. And what would you not like to do with your career?
Accounting.
Mm.
Anything with numbers, anything that's structured, anything, again, I worked for the government, so I know what that's like, and I would never do that again,
Mm.
because it just doesn't fit me. And I've got good friends and students that work in the government. They absolutely love it, and I love them for it. There are many opportunities in that, and I think the most important thing is to follow your path. And for me, that path is in a creative world.
Mm. And do you have a favorite word, quote, or sentence?
The quote that I love that sort of not sort of that guides me is a Mark Twain quote. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did do.
Mm. And how about a least favorite word, quote, or sentence?
Fake it till you make it.
Mm. Okay, and you're choosing one word to describe yourself. What word do you choose?
Restless.
What keeps you up at night?
Money.
Great, and final stretch here. What's a dream you're chasing?
Um, a movie script.
Mm. And how about what inspires you?
Everything inspires me. The world inspires me. In my office, I have books about architecture, movie, music. I've got musical instruments. I've got uh, plain paper and pens and highlighters. I thrive on people who are passionate about what they do. And even if that's accounting, if they're a passionate accountant, I salute you. I just love people who just lean in 100% of who they are. As a result, I love watching documentaries about people. And it could be a sports figure, it could be a musician, doesn't matter. I love learning about their passions and how they followed through.
Great. And last couple here, number 19, any advice you'd like to share?
Follow your heart. As a teacher, I'm seeing more and more mature students in my class who this graphic design or the creative field is their second career, and it's simply because their first career was based on what their family thought they should be doing.
Mm,
And I see that so much in the world, and people need to understand that it's a situation of short-term pain, long-term gain.
mm.
Short term, they will be disappointed that you're not following that path, but in the long term, they'll see that you are engaged and happy, and that's ultimately what they want.
Great. And finally, number 20, how can our listeners keep tabs on you and what's our call to action?
Right. So definitely check me out on LinkedIn, at Robert Smith. And my main, I would say the best place to check in on what I do and what I'm up to is think-smith.com. And there you'll have access to my Instagram, my LinkedIn, the books I've written, and all of the things that I think people should know about, but don't.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining. Big congrats on Design Thinkers. That's a great one. And continue your success, please.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Thomas. I really appreciate you taking the time.